Hi there, welcome to the Inward Clarity by Mala's Verse. The reading that we are going to do today is for empaths, and it is as to what is the energy you require as you move through your current situation or what you're facing right now. We have three piles to choose from as usual. Take a few deep breaths with me here, breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. I'm also going to ring the singing bowl. All right. And we have three piles to choose from. The first one is the Light Seers Tarot. Then we have Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. And the last group, the third group that we have is Haindl Tarot. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You are more than welcome to choose one or more piles. Take a few deep breaths even now. If you would like to center yourself, set the intention that the messages that come through are for your highest and best good. Only take what resonates and empowers you. And as usual, no readings are supposed to replace any professional, medical, legal, or business advice or financial advice. These are only meant to bring you more confirmation, clarity, and personal reflection insights. So take your time, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile one. If you chose a light CS tarot, this is going to be your reading. So let's see, what do you require right now? But first, let's see what needs to come through psychic messages or channeling as I connect with your energy. Okay, I feel that for this pile, what I'm perceiving rather is that there's a lot of things that are going on. Well, there are a lot of things that are going on because the transition was from like white color to rainbow, essentially, not exactly rainbow, but multitude of colors. There were many colors, and all of them randomly, so many of them were buzzing. So I wonder if you are handling a lot of things right now, pile number one, and if you're responsible rather for quite a few things. Specifically, what this is telling me is also that whatever you're handling right now, going through, it's sort of shaking your stability, your sense of security a little bit. This could be financially, but could be physically, or maybe you're not feeling at ease in your body because you have to work through a lot, be it mental or physical or even emotional. So you might be feeling a little unstable in the physical reality in one way, shape, or form because there's just too much. And I don't perceive that everything is negative, but it's an overwhelm of energies, and it's a mixed bag. It's a lot of things that's happening here. um, I do perceive that connecting with the color red, which is the energy of our first chakra, the root chakra, the Mooladhara, is going to be helpful. Specifically, getting like inculcating this through food. So, pomegranates, beetroot, and things like that. And as I always say, there's no medical advice here. This is not any medical advice. So only eat or take anything if it aligns with your health. And more than that, actually, only take all of this into consideration after you connect with a medical professional if it's required. But the color red is what's coming through, so tomatoes are even, and that's going to help you a lot to help you ground a lot. If you are into crystals, then red jasper could be helpful for you. Some of you might even getting the crystal carnelian. So that's orange in color. So, but yeah, that's also coming through. Now let's see your cards. Okay, interestingly enough, I'm being asked to take the tarot cards first as to what do you require right now to move through your current situation. We have King of Cups. Isn't that interesting? He's wearing a red vest. All right. We have Eight of Swords. Interesting. Queen of Swords. Then we have the Hierophant. Bottom of the deck is King of Pentacles. Again, that red color is coming through. So that's something that you might want to add in some way, shape, or form into your lives. So pile one, with King of Cups energy, I do perceive that you're doing your best to have your emotions, your mental state in control. Yet with the Eight of Swords being here, it was probably not easy to do that. Maybe some of you even neglected doing this in the recent past, and you've become more clear about your boundaries, and so you're putting more time into your emotional well-being, um, trying to calm yourself down a lot. And I also perceive that some of you might even be feeling that you're progressing spiritually, or you have that intention that you would like to progress spiritually. With the Queen of Swords, I am also perceiving that there's somehow some sort of guilt is not the right word, but there is some sort of push-pull energy where you understand that you need boundaries, but also it's hurting you a bit, asserting these boundaries, because of course this is not something that you're used to. And you recognize that it's important because you don't want to put yourself in that Eight of Swords situation again, where you are your own enemy in some way, shape, or form. Your thoughts are your own enemies because you did not probably take actions that were required to be taken in the moments that you received an insight about, because that's what I'm receiving, not taking actions for your own well-being. And so now you're doing that, and so I would say it's a big jump as well. That's why it might feel sharp to others, and that's some more than to others. I perceive that you might be perceiving that it could feel sharp to others because it's a big jump. We're going from Eight of Swords to a Queen of Swords. So we are leaving behind Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, a Page, and Knight of Swords as well. So this is, I would say, like an archetypal energy or an innate energy that you have, which you are activating, but it's not been a comfortable ride for you yet. At the same time, with the Hierophant card here, you can perceive that this is opening up you. It is opening up your heart center in ways that it was not open before, and it could very well be that you are able to give more time to things that actually matter to you specifically, is what I'm receiving. The challenge here. Justice at the bottom of the deck, like that's what I was saying. You're balancing things out, but it's a little harsh because it's the swords energy, so it's not that easy. It's really out of your comfort zone, especially mentally. Challenges the Hermit. Isn't that interesting? Then we have Death and Rebirth. Then we have Four of Wands. So like I said, the Queen of Swords energy that you're moving into pile number one, or not even moving into, that you are executing right now, might have been, it is probably triggering wounds of abandonment in some way, shape, or form, or the fear that you might be left alone. And that you might, I would say, even with the Hermit, I'm perceiving you might be left alone during the toughest times of your life. And the word light was coming through, but what I'm perceiving is you have to understand that you are, for all of us, this is true, you are the brightest light in your own life, and we tend to forget that. So I'm not at all saying that we don't need community. In fact, we clearly have that energy for you with the Four of Wands here. That's not the point at all. But to recognize our own worth, the fire of our own light, of our own spirit, sometimes we might go through stages or phases where we might not be as supported, but that's our perception, especially it's so beautifully placed here with the Eight of Swords. This is our perception. These are bondages we have created. These are chains we have put ourselves into because the way we perceive support, and I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but the support that we think we might need and without which we won't be able to survive. And I'm again saying it's not applicable for every situation, but there are certain points where we are put through challenges only because we do not ourselves recognize what strengths we carry, what resilience we carry. And for you, it's a lot about resilience, pile number one. And with the death rebirth card as your guidance or as what you require to move through what you are moving through, it makes complete sense, especially with, the Queen of Swords being right at the back. Because with death rebirth, this is very much about, cutting cords, leaving behind energies that are no longer not just about serving you. These are not energies that are who you are, like they are not a part of the energy who you are actually at the soul level, and it's time for them to dissolve and move into consciousness. And as you do that, we have the Four of Wands. There's going to be a lot of cause for celebration. This could be a celebration in an intimate space, or celebration in the sense that you might actually find people who are a part of your soul tribe, and this is definitely a balancing act with the Justice card here, like yeah, balancing act for you. And I do perceive that scales are being balanced. And what again, the way this justice card is here, she has a, I mean, I feel that fierce energy in this face as well. But if you look at this one, this is even more, I mean, it's reminding me of like a lioness or a lion energy essentially. So you are balancing the scales in the terms of putting your foot down, but at the same time holding grace for yourself and for others. So it's not going to be, I think that you already perceive that it's a tumultuous ride, and it's about choices, and choices that create more for you, to create greater for you, and you are understanding that. But I can also see that it's not a comfortable ride. Yet you're moving towards something that you are more than meant to. What I'm perceiving is this is a natural consequence rather of stepping into who you truly are, remembering who you are. Let's see what are the ending messages for you. It's interesting how I'm going to perceive the energy from these cards, because these are mostly affirmation cards. So the first card here is actually telling us what you may have to leave behind or not continue not to do, and what you need to do is the second card. So hope is the conduit for miracles. I wonder if you're putting your hope in places where, especially with the death card here, it's it's of no use to do that. Rather, it's not the energy that you might want to keep. There's this energy of transformation that's required, rather than hoping for a specific outcome. That's why I think the support thing was coming through. There's this specific definition you have of support, which is blocking you in some way, shape, or form, or not receiving that. And the resentment or the anger or grief around it is blocking you, and hoping that same exact support is what you receive, that's somehow blocking you. Rather, what you need to do, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. I was talking about discomfort. Wow. Even I am surprised at the synchronicity, to be honest. Pile number one. So, this is what you need to embrace for your current situation. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Wow. And I would read the bottom deck energy here also, which is, I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose again. I choose love. Wow. Pile one. That's a powerful energy. I think I don't even have to explain this. I guess that, I'm not guessing. I really can see how all of this is tying up together. So this is more so any angst, fear that you have, that you will be left behind with the Hermit card the more you step into your energy, is coming from fear. So choose again, choose love, choose deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Wow, pile one. That's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Take care. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into the reading, I mean, get into your cards, let's see what needs to come through psychically and through channeling for you. It started raining when you're reading. How does it get even better than this? Finally, I have some cool breeze. Anyway, for pile number two, I perceive this lime yellow color for this group. So I wonder if some of you, for some odd reason, it's, reminding me and of cold, cough, and sore throat, phlegm, basically. Not the best things. So I hope that you're taking care of these things, in the best way possible for your overall well-being, connecting with the right people, the right professionals to take care of that. But as I move beyond it, I perceive, I can perceive grief and sadness, emotions that have not been expressed in a long time, and specifically feels like something that you would want to cry your heart out about. The word that's coming to me is that you feel defeated in some way, shape, or form. Oof. And I am basically receiving questions like, why is this happening to me? Why is everything so difficult for me or my life? Definitely, certainly, a lot of you are going through a lot of challenges, but for some of you, I'm also perceiving this is grief that's been left over and not processed, that's coming to the surface. Maybe some of you, everything has been going, not even if it was not smooth, it was familiar, usual, and the normal or the norm for you, but within that norm, things are getting triggered now that you may have dusted and put behind or underneath a rug. So it's now piled up a lot and it's showing up in your life, emotions or instances that you did not either have the time to or had the bandwidth, even the means or resource to process, and now it's coming up for processing. All right, that's what I'm receiving through those messages. Let's see what your cards have to say. I'm going to pull one card for your current situation. Let me just check the cards once for any imagery. Okay, no. We have Five of Pentacles right now. Let me just check these two. All right, all cool. Five of Pentacles. Then we have Four of Cups, the Justice card, and King of Swords. So yeah, like I said, a lot of you, especially with the Five of Pentacles showing up as your current energy or situation, some see you are certainly in a challenging time, and some of you might even be praying if you are, connected with that energy. You're praying to God, Source, Creator, and really, really asking for help. And like I mentioned, there's something in the past that happened that you may have not had the time to look at with the Four of Cups here. You did not have the time to process that because you had to move through life. You had to be in that in a redundant or a boring routine, but you had to be in that for your own well-being. And with the Justice card, I do perceive that things are coming up for the energies to balance out. And for some of you, I do perceive that this is specifically around relationships. I would want I'm perceiving that whatever the balancing energy is here for this pile number two, with the Justice card and then the King of Swords, I wonder if you have a hesitation in when as these energies are balancing out, and that's why you are in that Five of Pentacles energy, requesting for help or feeling abandoned in some way, shape, or form. Because with the King of Swords, what I'm perceiving is there is a hesitation in uh, accepting this archetypal energy within you, which is the King of Swords. He is very clear cut, sometimes clear cut to a point of default. And so it's not easy to embrace this energy because it could be, it could very well be about truth, but it could also be coming from judgment. So I wonder, some of you, I wonder if this is around father wound, or even if it's not father wound, but something around authority. So being an authority or setting down rules is not easy for you, or and I what I'm perceiving is maintaining the rules, or rather maintaining the boundaries, is what's a little difficult for you. But your situation right now, in some way, shape, or form, is asking for that. And these are boundaries with the sword energy. I get that these are boundaries about how much people trauma dump, maybe some people trauma dump on you, or you receive can, or you can perceive a lot of people's energies, and so you want bound, and it makes sense, we're talking about empaths here. So it makes sense in that way, that you don't want people to interfere with your mental energy just as they please. And there is a fear in doing that, because maybe you asserted boundaries, maybe you have become aware of what emotion is rooted in which event, and so you're understanding that and you're wanting to balance that out, and it's triggering your flight fight in terms of, would you be left behind, would things actually work out for you, or would you be just left for the dust, or basically left to rot. Okay, that is strong energy. That's why I was feeling that grief, because maybe there is a past life memory or a early childhood memory around this, but that's something you need to discover with the right professional. But what I'm perceiving is that is the trigger point here, which is not letting you actually even look at the emotions that have been surfacing up. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you work hard for maintaining relationships specifically, and like we are seeing here, at the cost of your own mental well-being. So bottom of the deck is the World card. Let me just check the other cards here. Okay. We were talking about authority, were we not? So authority is the challenge here with the Emperor card. Even though Hierophant does resonate with that, but with authority, with Emperor also, I do associate authority. The guidance or what you require more of is, for pile two, you know that there are people who support you. It's just that you may keep them at a distance with the way this Four of Wands is. And they celebrate you, or your connection with them is more superficial. Even if it's not superficial, it's not very deep. So you have to recognize that there are people who celebrate you, there are people who do recognize your worth, your value. So you are not left alone. And with the Seven of Pentacles, the more you connect with this energy, and especially I feel like this is a very strong, it's not a warning, but it's a strong, strong message from Spirit, Source, Universe, your team in spirit, whoever you believe in, to connect with, not to connect with, but to celebrate your own achievements. It's important. It's very, very important. And for some of you, I feel like all of these energies are intertwining and mixing, and thus eventually actually influencing your career in some way, shape, or form. So there is an energy of a stall in your career growth. So there, like a pause or a plateau that you may have hit, or there's a complete stop altogether. But this is because there's some challenge here around authority. And with the Four of Wands, you are actually being asked to look at how far you've come, because celebrating your wins will help you understand how much of an authority you yourself are as an individual. And so trusting in your capacities, your capabilities is very, very important. And leading with that energy in your life is very important. It's going to lead to growth that is substantial. Even if it's low, it's definitely going to yield you results. Pile number two, that's what you need to do. That's what you require for your current situation. So you have to trust in yourself. You have to trust how far, and that trust is by giving yourself valid proofs throughout your life. Write down your life story and all the achievements you've had, And it doesn't and I'm not talking about achievements that come with accolades alone. It's not even about that. It's your spirit, what at this level of spirit or soul you have achieved, and you know these things. So note them down, write it in a diary, look at it every day and reaffirm it. In fact, not just every day, every few hours, keep looking at it, remind yourself of it, because that's going to help you see how far you've come and how your growth has been extremely substantial, rooted, and it is yielding you results as well, and it's going to yield you results. So let's see, what do you need to do more of, and what do you need to do less of, or not do at all, rather. So what do you not do? I'll choose love no matter what. Isn't that interesting? So like I said, I perceive that not wanting to disturb the status quo here in some way, shape, or form, in the pretext of what you have labeled as love or defined as love, you might be overextending yourself. That's why that exhaustion, was it exhaustion in your pile? Yeah, that's the energy I got when we was first getting your psychic messages, right? Exhaustion, um, tiredness, because that defeated feeling is there. Because you might be showing up so much for others, but not for yourself as much, and more of the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And it's interesting, the realignment with love has the color white more. Of course, it has tinges of red and pink, and this one is more red pink. So I mean, less of white. So that's what, no, the definition of love has bled into your awareness. It's clouding your awareness. Whereas what you need to do is actually align with unconditional love that comes from spirit. It is not conditioned, and it is the love towards yourself. And it's the same energy that created this world, isn't it? And it's moving through you, and that can come through appreciation. That's why I was getting, being appreciative of how far you've come is more important. So, because what I'm perceiving is maybe it's not very easy for you to turn love towards yourself or compassion towards yourself. So, it's important that you look at how far you've come. When you do that, when you remember those things, you'll also understand the efforts that were put in whichever way, be it emotional, mental, or physical, or maybe all of these things, or a combination. But you will recollect that, and that's going to reassure you of the actual love you have towards yourself, and how that love is the love from spirit flowing through you, and that you're not alone. And not just about alone, that there are people who do want to celebrate who you are as an individual. Pile 2, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this tarot, which is a Haindl tarot, this is going to be your reading. Before we look into your cards, relax a bit as I connect with your energy. Let's see what comes through in the psychic or channeled messages for you. So I'm getting two colors for this file. The with the major color being like lava orange, and there are those tints of black that comes with lava, even though there's molten lava that's bright red or bright orange. But from you, I'm getting more so orange than red, but it's reddish orange, essentially those colors. And that's those touches of black as well. But in the center, I'm getting a deep not a deep blue, but actually a combination of deep blue and sky blue color. It's like it looks like a vortex energy. So pile 3, I wonder if you guys are quite inflamed in some way, shape, or form internally, but there's a lot of, it could be anger or rage, but more than, to be honest, what I'm perceiving more is a lot of energy, especially with the orange and red, or the reddish orange. So there's plenty of energy, and it's energy that's wanting to be released. because with the tinges of black, I feel like this is energy that's getting now too exhausting for you to hold. And maybe that's why that energy is in the core, which is, bluish, or the two colors or shades of blue, rather, shades or tints, which is the dark blue and the sky blue color. And what I'm perceiving is that not all of this needs to release. There's a certain significant amount that needs to release, and the combination of these blues and that reddish orange in a balanced state, that is what is required. And to me, that blue is showing me calmness and steadiness at the same time, holding this vortex of energy, which is the vortex is holding this another vortex of energy, which is reddish and orange, and it's more so like creative energy. So there is essentially a direction that's needed for this energy to move through, so that it's refreshed and it doesn't decay you or create issues for you in some way, shape, or form. That's why that it inflames, maybe that's the right word, but that inflamed energy is there. So, and I perceive this to be released through action. And so, the planet Mars is coming through, so Martian activities in some way, shape, or form. And any of the activities that you do would be better if there is a system around it, because that system is not to restrict you, rather, that system is going to help you channel the energy in a right manner. And in fact, it could also be that the system helps you to release the right amounts at the right time, so that it's not a lot that's released or just a little that's released, but the right amount for you. So maybe taking some classes for physical activities would be helpful than doing things on your own. So maybe it's a group class or an individual class, could be anything, a subscription based class, but something where you are given instructions that you could follow. And there's a system that helps you, because here that's what I'm receiving. It's just that this energy or vortex of energy is so much that it needs to go somewhere and in a systematic way, so that it doesn't create more problems for you. And I hope that that was helpful in some shape or form. But anyway, let's look into your cards now. All right. So let's see, we have Eight of Cups, failure, as your current energy. Isn't that interesting? So that's, it's interesting the way the Eight of Cups is shown here, because otherwise in the regular tarot, you would see that all of the cups are aligned in a straight line, and then two cups are there above, like they're divided in the right number to complete an eight. But for this card, if you look at it, there's chaos. It's upside down, jumbled, diagonal, what have you made? Maybe that's the right message, but basically any and all combinations that are not aligned in this perpendicular manner. So, like that inflamed energy I was getting. So, maybe something has not worked out for you in the recent past, or there is chaos in a situation that you thought was working out well for you. And that's why that energy of failure might be there. And I'm just checking the cards also first for anything that needs to be, covered. So we have the Fool, Son of Cups in the north, which is Prince of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. And then we have Death card. Okay, interesting. So this pile, you might find some messages in another pile. In another pile, that is for you to choose. So, pile number three, interestingly enough, with the Fool card, here I'm receiving the energy of choices that you were making that were either misinformed or not fully informed. There was something missing. So, basically, don't shoot the messenger here, but what I'm receiving is making choices that were foolish in some way, shape, or form. And with the Knight of Cups, I perceive that you are coming into more of a space of compassion, and this is a compassion or a way of being that you probably did not have when you were doing this work. The fool, I mean, when you were making those choices with the Fool energy, there was a discompassionate energy there, not dis yeah, discompassionate might be the right word, but basically compassion was not there. um there was a lack of softness or grace in the choices you made earlier, and right now you're understanding that. And it's almost the other side of the spectrum where you're becoming too giving also with the Knight of Cups. On even if it's not too giving in your actions, but your emotions are making you, it's a way of emotions that's coming through, and it's pushing you towards this righteousness or morality or something around these things, or doing the right thing or being there for others in the most yeah, idealistic way. So you are being pushed towards a lot of idealistic ways, which also with the Eight of Cups makes sense that it's not, feeling like a balanced choice for you. And maybe that's the reason why we had that vision of that inflamed energy, but that also that core energy of that bluish vortex, which is going to help you balance more. And with the death card here, I do perceive that this is leading you towards a transformation like never before, and a transformation where you're going to realize your strengths, and your strength, especially in terms of the maybe some of you, your psychic powers and powers are increasing, because I'm getting strength in your vision. So maybe literally your vision is going to improve for some of you, but for others of you, I'm getting that you're getting aware about your psychic powers are becoming more visceral in your life. For some of you, you might even be might have mediumship capacities that are coming online. But that's interesting. So I think that balance is going to help you have more clarity about the strengths you carry, especially when you see that things are dying down. And it makes sense, because the vision that I was getting felt like a nebula, basically a star bursting. I hope I'm correct there, but essentially a star bursting or a star being born is not so comfortable, and at the same time it's a sight to watch, but it's a necessary change. And so during those changes, or changes that require a rebirth, we often get into the mindset of, this is the end, there's nothing beyond this. But and so you give up, and I mean, not even about easy, it's a natural response that comes to many of us to not for put your intentions or actions further. But I think the compassion that you've learned is helping you move forward and have resilience during these tough times. For some of you, um, this is also about connecting with, for some reason I'm getting like you're connecting with animals. I wonder why. So this could be something around your capacities, psychic capacities when it comes to animals as well. But let's see what is the challenge here. Then let's okay. Justice. Uh then we have courage, resilience. That's what I was talking about. Seven of Wands. And the last card we have is, do I need to put anything here? We have alchemy. And alchemy makes so much sense with the death card. So with the justice here, like that's what I mean, I think that makes perfect sense with justice being the challenge, because we are talking about things being out of balance, and justice is about weighing the scales. It is about fairness. And there's something that you're learning here which has not been the easiest thing to do, but with the Seven of Wands being the energy that is the energy that you need to be, I wonder the foolish choices that you made without compassion were choices for your own self. Pile number three, that could very well be the reason. Because with the courage card, or the Seven of Wands card as the card that's coming through for your guidance, is the energy which tells me you've got to stand up for yourself, for your requirements, for what works for you. And this is no joke, because I perceive that this pile, and like I mentioned the other piles too, as empaths, you are required to take care of your energy first. Only then can you transform this energy, because the more compassion you start having for yourself and you make the right choices, then it becomes, isn't it obvious that it will become easier for you to alchemize energy, because you now have greater capacity. The capacity that we have increases only when we are feeding our growth as well. I mean, if you are not going to feed your own capacities, your own strengths, that's why the strength energy was coming through so strongly, even though it was the death card. But the more you are able to nourish yourself to create, not just to create, maybe to create an environment for your strengths to multiply, but more so, uh, when you are going to nurture and nourish your own strengths, only then you are going to increase your capacity, right? Because with the Eight of Cups also, the like I said, the cups are all here and there, they are wobbly. And with the Zero Fool card, I was getting the foolish choices. So maybe the choices were so emotional, and I mean, based so much on emotions. And it's not about intellect even, but emotions that have not been regulated, emotions that have not been taken care of. So emotions that have been chaotic, making choices from that have resulted in um, situations that did not work well for you. Rather, um, you could have traced your steps back and understood that maybe some choices were foolish in some way, shape, or form. So we do have Three of Pent. Wow, I was just getting the back of the deck energy, and I left one card behind. It's the Sun. How beautiful. And so I have never seen the Sun card in this deck. So I'm really pleasantly surprised, especially looking at the beautiful flower here. So you are understanding your own soul's strength, your own soul rather, and you're moving towards that energy. Of course, it's been tumultuous, weird, right? Weird is the word that's coming through, right? To be honest, because I feel like with the alchemy card as the outcome, which is the more you stand in your strength, the more I'm getting literally the term fighting for your rights. The more you do that, it's going to be much more easier for you to alchemize energies. It's going to be much more easier for you to alchemize even your shadow aspects, your light aspects, to embrace both parts, and how both of these parts are so, so, so important for a healthy functioning, for a healthy life, for uh, a healthy growth in your spiritual journey as well. And that's what you are moving towards. The more you stand up for yourself, for your rights, that's coming through very strongly. And especially with the Three of Pentacles card, this is telling me that you don't have the responsibility alone to carry forward a group project, to be honest. And we have Three of Swords right beneath that. Yeah. So, having expectations that if you no, with the Three of Swords, there is some sort of expectations that have not been met, and it's more so probably having expectations around work is quite normal, but then having expectations, still doing the extra work, which is the cycle that's again and again repeating, is the chaos. So don't let people breadcrumb you. First of all, pile number three, just breadcrumbing doesn't mean that you will do everything else. I mean, of course, do your part and sometimes extend help if that's required. But what I'm receiving more so is you do your part, stand up for your rights, stand up for your non-negotiables. That's very important. And just because people do 0 to 1% of the work, or maybe 5%, maybe even 10%, and you are doing the other 90% every time, doesn't make sense, does it? Pile number three. So yeah, stand up for yourself, have compassion for your own emotional well-being. That's what's required. Let's see, what do you need to do more of? And less of. See, okay. Less of is when I lean toward love, I am led. Do you see the color combination? It's again reddish. It's more so red, but there's still that, reddish orange color. And then we have the blue. And the more of is when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. So when I lean toward love, I am led. And I wonder if you've been, like I said, you have expectations that, when someone drops just this much, like, I mean, the entire card has this color that's bleeding out everywhere, and there's just this one moon, or even the color is just this blue part, right? So someone just coming and cooling you down for just a minute, or maybe just saying the right words to help you feel appreciated, while of course that helps, doesn't mean that that's going to fuel the entire thing and create everything for you. So leaning towards love, especially in a way that, I'm getting love bombing, to be honest. Love bombing, or which is, and also maybe showing love or appreciation, and it's convenient for the other person. And just looking at that or making that as your foundation, your feed for moving forward is not going to help pile 3. Rather, when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. So, the love of the universe to me tells me it's divine love. It's love that's coming from source, and that is unconditional. It's unfiltered. Um, it's going to basically mirror exactly how you love yourself, and it's also going to give you true insights into what genuine unconditional love is. By unconditional, what I mean is that it is not, I mean, the love from the universe is not based on the judgments of what you carry about yourself. It is, like I said, it's going to be a true reflection of how you treat yourself. And with that information, also, it's telling you how to treat yourself better. Because I'm sure you've seen examples of the universe or treating somebody else better. And I'm not saying that it's treating someone else better than you, but you can see you can see such examples, and you can also see within those examples how those people see themselves. How do they perceive themselves? What is their self-talk? How are they compassionate towards themselves? That is what is important. And that's going to give you clue or hints as to how to love yourself, pile 3. All right, Parvati, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.